When you are an entrepreneur, you don't wait for perfect conditions, you adapt. And when you see an opportunity, you go. I understand the point of instability. I think this is something we deal with in France, so and many countries in Europe.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the FT studio for the PWM tea break with my special guest from Paris, Sandrine Genet, founder of French wealth management firm Groupe Allen.
I'm drinking ginger tea. It brings a lot of energy, and I love tea. And as in Rome, you do what Romans do, so tea, obviously.
I'm glad you're enjoying the tea, because when we look at what's going on in the UK at the moment, Andy Burnham, the Prime Minister in waiting, a lot of his campaigning in his northern constituency of Makerfield was done in the cafes, meeting the voters for a cup of tea. And your wealth advisory firm is entering the UK market at an interesting time. Is this a good moment for you to be arriving here?
When you are an entrepreneur, you don't wait for perfect conditions, you adapt. And when you see an opportunity, you go. I understand the point of instability. I think this is something we deal with in France, so and many countries in Europe. When I was dealing with French native clients 10 years ago, living in London, I realized that there is a lot of complexity related to cross-border wealth issues, like what happens when you get married, what happens when you divorce, if you buy a house, around retirement, inheritance, and many things. And it was at this time, so before Brexit, it was something complicated. And then Brexit came, and then changes, major changes within the fiscal year this year in the UK. And this brings instability. But our job is to deal with instability. And it is our purpose to bring clarity, to help people navigate without the situation. There is around 200,000 French native living in the UK. There are very few French companies in wealth management that has built a knowledge about how to give advice to clients with cross-border issues between France and between the UK to have good decision in their situation. So there is a gap between the situation of the clients and our knowledge. And so I think this is why we stand here today.
Well, things are really heating up in Paris as well, both politically and in terms of the climate. 40 degrees centigrade, air conditioning becoming a political debate between left and right. Then we have the appeals court in Paris deciding whether Marine Le Pen can run for presidency. At the same time, the wealth managers are doing very well. BNP Paribas, SocGen, and the Suez, Rothschild. Do you feel that these French wealth managers, they're succeeding in their home market, or are you taking example with how well they're doing elsewhere in Europe and other markets?
I think borders are no more really, something that limits the vision of families. They want to go where they want to live. They want to invest. They want to expand their companies. My strategy is to build expertise on our client situation. This brings a lot of complexity, this brings a lot of fragility, and we really much like to repair it and to make sure this is going to be long-term. I don't know what they will do, the big companies, but I think we are going to follow this path and maybe open new branches, maybe within Switzerland, Spain, I don't know exactly where, but where our clients will bring us. And that is my internal law and strategy.
You're talking about investment themes as well, and some of the investments we've been highlighting recently, defense and infrastructure, a very important one, space technology, and gold, a traditional precious metal now often at the center of many private portfolios.
We've been through a lot within 20 years. Lehman Brothers, crises, the war in Ukraine and Russia, now the war in Middle East. People nowadays in France are very focused on defense, as you say. This is a real topic, and they're very maybe anxious about the political instability and the election coming next year. So it brings a lot of questions. Our job is to, cool down a little bit and think long term. And gold is a very good example. Gold have been doing very well, but since the war, it's more difficult. So you've got to step back a little bit, and that's what we help our clients do.
And you've mentioned this instability, which, as you correctly say, it's 20 years worth of different crises. One of those 10 years ago, Brexit in the UK, and there are so many people in the UK who feel that this was a wrong move to leave the European Union. Will you be welcoming us back again with open arms?
I love Britain. I was very sad the day of Brexit. I understand that many people have different views, and I think I leave that to politicians to sort it off. But of course, I think we have a long history together. My grandfather, he was saved from Dunkirk and lived for some months here. And I think our relationship has deep roots in history, and we are stronger together. So I would be really very happy if that happens one day. I think families have to live with political decision. We all have to live with political decision. But our life is really something else than just politics. It's how you live, who are your friends, where you travel. And I think that this link hasn't been broken. I think it's still here.
Well, I'm delighted that we're agreeing an entente cordiale with you over a cup of tea in the wealth management world. Thank you, Sandrine, for joining us today.
Thank you, Yuri. Thank you so much.
And I look forward to seeing all our regular viewers, and hopefully a few new ones, when we will be delving even deeper into private portfolios in next week's episode of the PWM Tea Break.